TikTok. I want you to meet YouTube, and we're going to chop it up. I'm about to cut my man E. He's also an inspiration, a motivational speaker, and he does this thing. So I'm gonna give him a drop fade, show y'all how to do that while simultaneously just chopping it up about social topics. And today, I actually want to talk about what Charleston White said, and we're going to talk about because he said men should be musty in order to be masculine. So that's what we're going to start the topic off with, and we'll go from there. I think that's my man right there. What's going on, my broski? How you feeling today? Good to see you. Hey, well, I want to introduce you to my friends. This TikTok, this YouTube, cool ass people, man. We about to chop it up, man, and told them about to give you a haircut simultaneously at the same time. We're going to chop it up about some social topics and see what the vocals and the responses are.
Oh, you already started talking about it, man?
I haven't. I just cut everything on, so we just gonna go through the motions, man. If they had time, they can listen to us and drop a comment. Like I say, go subscribe to my channel, Barbershop Talk, and also The Messenger on YouTube. Where can they follow you at, bro?
Oh man, they can follow me on Involution, man, LLC. Involution LLC, man. That's
you hear that? Man, when I say this guy is funny, educational, and intellectual at the same time, come on, man, y'all need to go check them out for real, for real. But that's it. That's all you can do is be self and let everything else fall in place. What you want to do with it today, though, broski?
What do I want to do? I guess the usual.
Gotcha. We're gonna do. So what we're gonna do today is a drop fade. That means a ball fade underneath the occipital bone. Keep it wave length and let it transition up. And that's how my man likes it. And that's what we're gonna give him.
Yeah, you said the occipital bone.
The occipital.
You
feel me? Hey, I just look like this. Hey, stop playing with me. You know I got a little CSI in me. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, so I was telling him earlier, y'all, I was listening to Charleston White, which is one of the big homies. So I understand him. Sometimes I don't agree with him, but I do understand him. And what he was talking about was a man who takes care of himself, basically, i.e., washes his body, clips his nails, hands isn't dirty. What he say? What else he say? He say, if you get a pedicure,
manicure,
if you get a haircut every week, if you lotion your body, G, oh shit, if you lotion your body, you are not a real man, he say.
Yeah, like a man is supposed to be like completely unhygienic and dirty, which is complete just, yeah, that's buffoonery.
What do y'all think of that right there? The topic is a man less masculine if he doesn't take care of his hygiene? Let's talk about it. Hey, what you think, E?
I mean, honestly, like I said, I think it's complete buffoonery. At the end of the day, the life expectancy for males, because what I've heard is there was a relation, when I was looking at it, there was a relationship between old school men and how they used to be dirty and work and, you thinking about the old steel mills and all that type of stuff and what that ideology of a man, which is like, honestly, just completely just, it doesn't make any sense. The reality of it is the life expectancy of men has increased because of hygiene. Like at the end of the day, we're getting sick less, we're living longer. So to sit there and take us back to some kind of like Neanderthalic kind of thought process like that, to me, I don't agree. You can be a man, you can still be tough and take care of yourself. Like, what woman wants to be with a man that's dirty? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, great. Now, as he say that right there, because that was one of my topic questions. Women, because this could be an opposite sex thing as far as perception. Do you guys think your man's more muscular or masculine when he's less hygienic? Is that the word for
hygienic?
Hygienic.
I mean, I get it. Like, let's say you're going so far as to get like your eyebrows plucked. I mean, that's a little bit on more of the feminine side. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
seeing all of that. You know what I mean?
100% agree.
Doing all of that, but I'm like taking care of your basics, like taking a bath, like brushing your teeth, getting your nails clipped and stuff like that, getting a haircut.
Now
Like
we
I'm supposed to walk. First of all, if I'm in a setting where I have to be people facing like me, I have to get a haircut every week because I can't be getting on camera or being in meetings and stuff like that looking insane because I'm a representation of you know what I'm saying a certain stature or status within inside of where I am. So if I'm looking crazy, they're gonna be like, okay, I'm over here wolfing it because that makes me a man. No, that doesn't make.
Hey, so right now I'm calling out Charleston. What do you got to say about that? Because as a man, we think logically. And what my man just said, Charleston, I love you because you the big homie. So at the end of the day, don't come at me too hard if you do come at me. But my man just said logic. As a man in his workplace, things has changed in the corporate world. You are expected. That's one of the expectancies to have in order to be able to work in that type of environment. So are you, if you telling a man he has to look, now I can see if a man is a mechanic, more power to you. But God gave us different gifts. So for you to tell me that a man is less than if he don't keep his image up or if he doesn't keep his hygiene up, I think that's a contradictory because if you look at your nails look a little manicured. Zoom in on his nails next time y'all do it. What's good?
I mean, if you want to talk about that, then you talk about the way a lot of men dress. You're telling me to have bad hygiene, but you're worried about color coordinating clothes and all of that type of stuff and
mm,
designer labels. I think that's more feminine than anything. So if you want to focus on that,
100%
you're
agree.
telling me not taking care of your body is a man thing, but you worried about how you look and how you dress and your chains and your earrings is not more feminine. That doesn't make
Wow,
any
didn't
sense to
even
me.
think of that.
So
I
that would be
ain't.
completely illogical. You're telling me that I should
You got
basically
chains
degrade my
on
health. Yeah, degrade my health, but I'm worried about jewelry and fancy shoes
because he
and
was
clothes
chained
and
out when he was
exactly. So
saying
you're
that.
worried about all of that, but you're telling me that it's more feminine to take care of my body and my health. That makes no logical sense to me. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
with that being said, I think my man was just in character. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because, he got to do characters one day and then he want to give a lesson the next day. So, at the end of the day, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. It's definitely something that he contradicted himself because I'm sure he take care of himself. He looks 10 times better than he did a year ago. So that right there shows self care, and he just
It looked like he
talking.
had a haircut when he was on there.
Had a haircut, had his teeth done. I
Right.
still on one socket, but at the end of the day, he took care of his external hygiene. So that's how I feel about the Charleston White. What y'all feel about it?
I'm also thinking about the fact that there was a lot of men in the comments who were like, yeah, and agreeing with it. And that to me is just
I think it's those men who. Ooh, now that you say that though, I was saying that's part of mental health, right? That's part of a sign of weak mental health for the simple fact anybody who is agreeing with that, those are the people who is not taking care of themselves, who has a
absolutely.
older problem. You see
Yep.
what I'm saying?
An
Who
excuse to be dirty.
who is hoarder, probably
Yeah,
hoarder
excuse to be piss
all.
poor to me. That's an excuse to be piss poor.
So you going with it, but you knowing he not really living like that. That just shows y'all not taking accountability for y'all self. Y'all just agreeing with the man, but you knowing he washing his ass though. You knowing at the end of the day because he got too much sense not to though. So at the
I think that we got to kind of step away from the fact, like we got to step away from some of these old ways of thinking and
mhm.
understand the times that we're in. Like you are not a Spartan warrior. Like my God, y'all talking all of this stuff and you sit behind the desk. Okay, like
Come on.
stop acting like you live in a time where we're dealing with warlords and warriors and
Come on,
we
man.
don't have access to all of these tools and equipment and technology. Man, we have access to all of that stuff. So that ideology is just dumb. Like it doesn't make sense. You're not. You know what I mean? All of this whole idea of what a man used to be. Well, guess what, man? That we're not in what used to be. We're
And we
in what's
changing
happening
and,
now.
and we
You know what I
changing
mean?
that shit. And the women love us too. So at the end of the day, I think we got the upper hand because if y'all want the women and we can get the women based off of who we are genuinely and authentically, I think we should have an upper hand. Our voice should mean something, y'all. So ladies, that's why I want y'all to chime in. What do y'all have a problem with? Man, what do y'all have a problem with with ladies. I just told y'all hygiene is one of them. So if you're not keeping yourself up, do not expect a female to want to be desired to be
But you
around
know
you.
what's crazy, man? When you say that, man. All right, man. When I lived in Houston, man, I knew this cat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say his name, but like the dude's like place was like horrible. Like you know what I'm saying?
Like a
Like just
hoarder.
yeah, like it's just it was dirty. You know what I'm saying? It smelled crazy, all that type of stuff, right? Going to this spot, but the dude would be literally taking down women like back to back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fairly, attractive dude, no homo. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But he's taking down women, and I would really be surprised at how many women would be able to go in there and sleep with this man because I've been in this dude's place and
I
I was
love
like
that you said
disgusted.
that.
I was like, so it's really interesting to me because it's like, what's the limit when it comes to, a man that a woman is willing to be with? Like, is it just because he looks good that you're willing to tolerate, bad hygienical practices, how he smells? What is it? Because I've seen an influx of women go in and out of this dude's place and stuff like that,
Uh,
and this dude was like filthy, man. And
are
I
you
never
guys
understood
listening?
that. You know what I mean? I was like, how do you do that?
Do you hear my mans? Hold on. I'm sorry, but I get boys in the house, and I told my boy that you got to take care of yourself because if you take care of yourself, absolutely. Capricorn born on 111, you 100%. You are classified as a strong woman. Keep telling your boys this. You keep telling your boys this. But did you hear my man? Can you say that one more time?
Oh, you talking about the guy in Houston, or about
Right.
what you're
Boom.
willing to tolerate and stuff like that? I think
Boom.
that's an interesting thing, man, because I feel like men are gonna do what women tolerate.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's just because we're I'm telling you, everything that we as men do are for women. Like it's really what it is. Like, fortunately and unfortunately, how you look, how you dress, how you speak, your mannerisms, your characteristics, it's all in order to attract women. That's really what we do. Everybody want to drive nice cars. We want to drive nice cars. Why? Because we know that it's going to attract women. The reason why we dress the way we dress because it attracts women. The reason why I want to be fit, I want to be in shape because it attracts women. A lot of people aren't doing stuff as men just because they want to do it for themselves. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some that do, but most men or a large percentage
Absolutely.
of men are doing things in order to attract women. So the things that they accept about themselves are going to be because women tolerate it. You know what I mean? So if that dude is walking around with super bad hygiene, if he's walking around what I'm saying? Like, and his apartment is dirty and women are still accepting it and they're coming in and they're still sleeping with him, then he don't see anything wrong with it. So even if I be like, yo, man, you got to clean up, he's like, I still get chicks though. You know what I'm
Now,
saying? That's literally the response that you'll get from people like that.
so with that being said, I gotta say what I gotta say. Women, what do you consider value? Because at the end of the day, the reflection of the guy that you talk to is really the reflection of who you are. You can keep it behind closed door all day, because at the end of the day, sex is just one part of intimacy, though. So you can hide them and still be banging them. But what is that saying about
Yeah,
you?
I'm still be banging. That's
You
real.
understand? What can you say about yourself if you know this man got little roaches scattered everywhere, or he
Mhm.
doesn't have a neat floor, and you still accept that and open your legs to him? You have to look in the mirror, and then you can't get mad when you be like, "Why don't I have a man who has something of value to himself?" And when I say a value, I'm not just talking about finances. I'm talking about mental health. I'm talking about taking care of yourself physically, being able to lead you so you guys can stay organized. Because without organization, what is it? Chaos.
True.
Without organization, it's chaos. So if you see a man already living in chaos and you are willing to accept it because you think he cute, hey, I'm telling you what's coming with it. And that's just from big homie standpoint. You know what I mean? So let
I
me,
think you left another comment too.
hey, shout out. When we finish it, I'm gonna definitely go back over. Please subscribe. I love y'all support. Y'all the best. Without y'all, it ain't no me. Go follow my man because he one of the realest. I don't talk to too many people, and every time we chop it up, we always got something organic. So I love y'all. Subscribe. Follow my TikTok page. Also the Messenger. Messenger. Follow my YouTube page. Barbershop Talk. All right, what else you want to talk about, broski?
I mean, I think really, man, that's you already kind of like dove into it right there. I guess it's about value, man. Like, what do you really value? You
Mm.
know what I mean? If you're willing to accept one thing and then be mad about another, where does your value really lies, right? You know what I'm saying? You're saying, oh man, this is a terrible dude. Well, I mean, I think it all starts with how a man takes care of himself. If you're not basing a man about how he takes care of himself initially, and you're just looking at just physical attraction, then you're already in the wrong place, because you're right. It takes a certain mental capacity to be able to be willing to even take care of yourself. You got to be like, hey man, you got to be, what I mean, you got to think highly of yourself. You know what I mean? Hygiene is important. If you don't value your hygiene, then I mean, what do you really value? Because that's self care. That's the beginning of self care. They say, hey, I'm not able to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not able to take time to get my nails like clipped, or clip my own nails, or get my hair cut until I can look presentable. I can't wear something that smells good. Like, that's weird, man.
Absolutely.
That already tells you enough. Like, I don't want to put the time and effort into taking care of myself, into taking care of my home, taking care of my space. How the hell am I going to take care of you?
And do you hear, my man? It's that simple. And just to piggyback off of it, like based off of my faith, what makes you soft, feminine, whatever, or homosexual is if you are into the same gender, not if you take care of yourself. So if you can't understand that and you got society blind you, that's okay. We can't help you, but that don't make us gonna lower who we are to appease how you feel. Cause you're gonna love me tomorrow at the end of the day.
That's right. So I think definitely I disagree with him, and I think that men should not listen to that. Take care of yourself, man. If you want to go get pedicures and manicures and take care of your hygiene, man, that's something that you should do. Now, if you choose not to do that, that's your own personal choice. I can't tell you what to do and what not to do, because you're a man. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely believe in that. I believe in letting men do what they need to do. But I do feel like it would be a disservice to not express that that is an incorrect way of looking at things. You know what I mean? What you choose to do, because you have a God-given choice, is your own. But you should take care of yourself. Because like I said, if you can't take care of yourself, how you gonna take care of anybody else? You know what I mean? How you gonna be able to show up for other people? You gonna put money towards getting a woman's nails done, but you don't even got your own done.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
And
You get your hair
ladies, you
done, you
gotta,
can't even get your own haircut.
ladies, you have to hold your man accountable also. Because you see what I'm saying? If you feel like he smells some type of way, don't just be like, oh, I love him, I'm accepting for that. No. Open communication actually entails, babe, can you do this? I ain't trying to hurt you. I love you. If I don't tell you, somebody else, they gonna still smell it, and then they're gonna tell their little people, and it's gonna just. So I'm just telling you this. So ladies, keep your man accountable, and fellas, you got to keep your women accountable too. Once you love, don't mean your desires stop and your needs stop and your wants
You
stop.
gotta
You
keep each
feel?
other accountable
Do
too.
you
You got
understand?
that man that's out there funky and stuff like that. You gotta say something to the dude.
Do you
You be like,
understand?
hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta be disrespectful with it. You can just be like, hey, man, yo, I think you might need to go ahead and check yourself, man. You kind of rank. You know what I mean? Some people may not be aware of it. They might have grown up thinking that's normal. You gotta be like, yo, dog, like. So it's up to you to try to teach that person, if they're willing to learn. And like, hey
Absolutely.
man, yo man, I would use this, I would do that, man, work on that. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, and I feel like if they're not receptive to it, then at least you tried. But if if that's your man and you're not, holding him accountable, or like trying to help that man, then that's not really your man. I don't think real
Absolutely.
friends or real people like ever just let you go out here looking sad and just say, oh, that's just because that's just the way it is. Nah, you're not a real person. You're not a real friend, man. If I can't sit
100%.
there and check you and tell you what you're doing wrong, if I can't be like, hey, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might need to fix that. If I don't sit there and try to help you, then at that point, I'm not really your friend. I'm not really your brother. Now we
Literally.
all out here not really friends and not really brothers, because y'all letting people go out here sad and only worried about yourself. And that's
Literally.
selfish.
And sometimes y'all doing that to sabotage the person just so you can get the attention. You see what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
why I had to cut a lot of niggas off in my life, because you're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna use my looks to this, because you still gotta have a personality. At the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, like, you can get a female, but if she's still gonna want me, that's gonna defeat the whole purpose of going out and have fun. So if your intent ain't to learn from me, get the fuck away from me.
And that's real too, man. We gotta stop hating on each other, man. Like
Literally.
that's a real thing to bring up. We gotta stop hating on each other. Like there's no reason for you to be hating, man. Like at the end of the day, especially when you in the arena of like talking to women, man. Listen, a woman gonna choose who she wanna choose. You don't gotta dirty Mac. You don't gotta sabotage nobody. You don't gotta get out there and try to like, what I'm saying, do some extra kind of thing to get attention. You don't need that. If she wants you, she wants you, man. Like, and to sit there and try to like use your homeboy or
Chime
do some
in,
dirty
ladies.
stuff,
Chime in,
like you
because
don't need to do
they
that,
might
man.
think I'm tweaking or
Yeah,
being
nah.
arrogant. No,
Operate in
chime
your own
in.
space, man. Just learn your lane. You got to be realistic with yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes the girl that you want don't want you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you really swimming outside of your lane, man. You gotta understand your lane. One thing I can respect is a person that understands their lane. You know what I'm
Literally.
saying? Like knowing what lane that you in and just being like, you know what, that's where I'm at. But when you live in this delusion and you over here trying to get at chicks that's not really interested in you or that's out of your league, because there are chicks that's out of your league, just like there's some you're out of some other chicks' league too. When you
Literally.
doing stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? That's how you cause an issue and stuff like that. Now you dirty macking your man. You over here trying to like, do that extra stuff. Oh yeah, man, he ain't really all that, or some lame stuff like.
And it's part of
something
life.
That's grown men.
It's part of life though, because this is where you test loyalty, right? It's so unfortunate when you had to see the truth, but this is a perfect example of your man being disloyal to try to get what he wants, and he's still not going to get what he wants ultimately. But it will show you who that person really is.
You know what's so crazy, man? You know what I've learned about like women in time is that women respect the loyalty, the group loyalty. That's the thing. When men think that they're gonna win by like shysting a man, and that's not really what works. They end up not messing with none of y'all. Like y'all look lame as hell to all. They be like, oh, you're.
And the real one going to tell you, like, look, your
like,
man, if she really fuck with you, boom. Unless she do want my
that
man.
does not work. They mess with you as a group. If y'all loyal to each other and y'all get along with it, and y'all really, they'll like y'all more because they like, yo, they solid.
It's a commodity.
You show that commitment. You're committed to each other. Women like commitment. But you over here not even committed to your homeboy. So what you think she gonna think of you? You gonna look like a lame. You can't even commit to your own friend, and now you trying to get at a chick. That's not gonna work. They're gonna be like, yeah, nah. They're gonna be like, yeah, y'all all lame.
Hey, so if you one of those type of niggas, hey, get your shit together, because at the end of the day, you gonna lose some good ass people doing some lame ass shit. And the girls ain't gonna even want you, because females peep that energy and they not stupid. So at the end of that's all I wanted to say. I ain't want to get too emotional, but that triggers me. That triggers me because at the end of the day, I'm a type of dude, I go off principle. So it's like I can have any nigga woman try to come at me, and I'm not ever going to talk to her based off the principle of I keep my own will. You see what I'm saying? I have just enough women that you don't have to take nobody female. It's not about aesthetics all the time. It's about character sometimes, and that's what's gonna make you last longer in life, though. Usually with peace. So that's all I have to say on that little joy.
That's real. Some people don't understand that. Some people, and I think that comes with a lot about how secure you are in yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why you're like, oh man, this is my opportunity. I finally got a chance. And you try to use this, like you don't feel like you can get it on your own, or you don't feel like you that dude. And I feel like every man in themselves needs to feel like they're that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Because you are.
That's that security you need to have.
You see what I'm saying?
Everybody, not just man, but women too. Like everybody needs to feel like they're that person. And it's not supposed to be something that's imposing on other people, because that's the difference between arrogance and confidence. Confidence is when I know internally that I'm the best version of myself. I am who I am. I'm him or I'm her, right?
Yes.
But arrogance is when I feel like I have to relate that to other people being less than. So now
or
I'm
compete.
I'm better than you.
Or compete. That's where this alpha female stuff on the competition.
Like,
it's like
I'm me. I'm 100% me. I like me. I love me. I'm good. But I don't have to make you feel less than to make me feel better.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not comparing myself to you. I'm comparing myself to me every day.
Yes.
And that's confident.
Yes.
But when you compare yourself to other people and try to act like you're better than, that's arrogance. Now you're trying to make somebody feel smaller and everything. And that competitive nature, that's not cool. Because if you're competing with people but everybody is confident, then that's different. It's like, hey man, yo, I'm gonna do a little bit better. I'm gonna do this, but it's not in a situation that's malicious. Or I feel like you're terrible. I'm like, yo, I actually look up to everybody in my circle because we all look up to each other.
Absolutely.
Because everybody is that dude in their own way. And because we all think that we all that dude, we're like, I can learn something from you, and that creates a competition. Not, oh, I think you lame, or I think you less than. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep you around so I can feel better about myself. That's when you start to see arrogant people. Arrogant people are not really secure. They're very insecure. And they have that appearance of confidence, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you get that dirty Mac and stuff, and you get those people who feel the need to try to play off your energy and do things in order to try to get girls and everything like that, because they can't do it on their own. They don't got their own motion. You know what I'm saying? If you can't create, you don't got your own motion, you don't got your own waves, then of course you're gonna try to hop on somebody else. And then when you're not able to do what they can do, you're gonna feel some type of way and try to sabotage them.
That's 100%. I believe those people need to find their identity, because that's all it is. If you don't know who you are or have values or morals to be like, oh, that might be wrong. You might not know who you are, and you might just need to go find yourself. But at the end of the day, don't come over through my path, because that's not right. You see what I'm saying? So let's nip it in the bud before you even come see me. If you're not 100 and you can't You can't learn from tests, meaning you can't, if a situation was to occur and you knew you want what you want to do, don't even come my way. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, man.
That's
That's
it.
why you
That's
want some
all.
people on your calendar, man. Like, I used to be a person back in the day that used to just accept everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Same.
And I realized that I couldn't do that. There's some people that just weren't in the same playing field. And when I say caliber, I don't mean that I was better than them. I just realized that there's some people that wasn't playing the same game. If I'm playing football and that person's playing baseball, we're not gonna really be able to gel with each other. We playing two different sports. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I'm realizing that I couldn't be around those people because we're not following by the same rules. But I'm like, oh nah, man, we both play sports, so we should be able to get along. The conditioning is different. The requirements are different. The uniforms are different. The crowd is different. You know what I'm saying? But just because we
100%.
play sports don't mean that we play in the same sport. So understanding the people that's playing the same sport, you know what I'm saying, as you, because that's the person that you put on your team. And also, you know what I'm saying, if you a quarterback and I'm a quarterback, well, who's gonna be first string? Who's gonna be second? You know what I'm saying? That so now you got that's where that competitiveness comes from. Because it's like, yeah, there's
Absolutely.
gonna be that, you know what I'm saying, that starter quarterback and the other people second, third. You
But
know what I'm
even
saying?
with that, that same principle, you had to have good sportsmanship instead of
Mm-hmm.
envy and jealousy, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what's going to take away the teamwork
Yep.
between competition and competitive sports. I mean, competition and teamwork. The only thing that takes away is self-centeredness. If you think about it, right?
Yeah.
If you're a team player, you're not just thinking about self. You'll be the best version of yourself, and then you're going to help others where you can help them at.
Yeah, to
If you're
contribute
just
to the team.
yes, if you're just a competitor, you're going to see other people around you with weaknesses, and you're not even going to focus on them, because you're just going to be focused on what I can get, how good I can look. And that's the difference between a competitor and a team player. And you're supposed to be a competitor of yourself, meaning the best version of yourself, but you're supposed to be a team player for anyone around you. That means help your neighbor. That's where that context come in. Help yourself, then help your neighbor. And that's what makes you valuable to society. My bad. No, I'm not sorry for real. I just but
Absolutely, man. Like, I'm not in competition with my team. I mean, I'm in competition to always perform. Like, I want to
absolutely.
perform the best, and I
But
want
ain't
to set
that's the
that
best
example.
you though?
Yeah,
It's
that's
not.
me.
It's like if you end up being better than somebody else, so be it. I never looked around like, oh, am I
But the
better?
thing, you know, everybody on the team got their own position, so we're not in competition with each other from that perspective. Because at the end of the day, as a team, we all want to win. But that's why I was making that analogy about two
Mm,
quarterbacks. You know, what I mean, two quarterbacks aiming for the same position. You can't have two quarterbacks on the field at the same time. You can only have one.
right.
But everybody else on that O line is going to play their particular position, right? So
Gotcha.
knowing that your team and knowing your personnel, you're able to set that up. But if you try to put two quarterbacks on the field, it's not going to work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's going to be an issue. You know what I mean?
But
Both of
you
them trying to get their hands on the ball. Both of them trying to pass the ball. That ain't going to make no
absolutely.
sense. So you got to, somebody going to be
But
starters.
you
Somebody
know, in
going to be
the
second
inside,
string.
somebody was like, oh, I hope this nigga break his leg. That's all I'm saying on the envious tip. But no, I know what you're saying though. But when you in a competitive state of mind, which is a masculine energy, right? Team Teamwork is a feminine energy. So that's where I feel like you have to balance it out, because if you have a soul masculine energy in sports per se, you want you're the best you, but until you get that number one spot, you don't care what happens to nobody else. You see what I'm saying? If you have that masculine straight mentality, but if you have that humble mentality, like I'm the best me, I'm a let God do the rest. That's how that team player mentality come in. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. I mean, you do. You got to be able to work in a cohesive unit and know your personnel, know the
That's it.
people around, and just picking that right team to have with you. Man, you can't do anything without a team. Like that whole solo journey, that only works for a certain amount of time. But when you get to the next level, you can only do it with a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of people think, oh, I did it, I can do it all by myself. Not a single person that's at the top did it by themselves. They did it with a team. So having the
Right.
right team, having the right people around you is important. You know what I'm saying? Just like that one person on your team that's going to tell you got bad hygiene, just to circle it back. You know what I'm saying? That one person who said, hey,
100%.
you need to take care of yourself, just to circle it back.
It
You
might
need to have
sting a
those
little
type of
bit, but
people.
if you go home, you go think about it, and then you be like, damn, nobody ever told me this type of. It's
Yep.
constructive
Constructive.
criticism.
Oh man, that's important. You got
You
to be able
feel
to
me?
take constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is not an attack. You know what I'm saying? Do not take it as a personal attack. If these are your people and they give you constructive criticism and you consider them to be your people, then obviously they're not saying this to hurt you. So you got to be able to take that criticism and adapt and improve. If you're not able to do that, then they're not really your people. That means they're your friends, but you're not their friend.
Come on.
If my friend can't tell me, you know what I'm saying, how to fix myself, and I'm not receptive to that, then I'm not their friend. They might be my friend, but I'm not their friend.
That's
So
it.
at that point right there, you need to check yourself because you're the one who's not a really good friend. I should always be able to be receptive to the people that I say that are really my team when they say, hey, you need to fix that. You know what I mean? And if I can't do that, then obviously they ain't my people or I'm not their people. You know, and I think that's a really important thing. That constructive criticism, right? Because a lot of times I think that we struggle with. That's why a lot of the stuff happens. Like people don't know how to take constructive criticism. They get mad, they get angry. You know what I'm saying? They get emotional. They ready to cut things off.
And I can understand where it probably stemmed from because, like, I grew up like with haters. So in Chicago, that's all we do is roast each other, right? So when you grow up, you might have a mindset of, oh, this is how we did when we grow up. You talk about somebody and that's how you laugh. But in reality, that's not really acceptable for a mutual respectable friendship. You see what I'm saying? Because we're not here to tear each other down. Now we can laugh about social events, but you want to try to find something that you see weak in me and try to tear me down so you can benefit or make me look stupid. No. So if you have that type of friend, you need to cut that type of friend off or have that type of talk with them, because it's like if you say something to them, they ready to fight you.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people going through that. A lot of youth go through that all day, but you scared to fight that person, so you allow them to say certain things or degrade you in a certain way. That's not acceptable if you respect yourself. I don't know where that came from, but I had to say that.
I mean, you don't got to fight everybody. Cutting people off works too. You know
Man, when I heard that work,
sometimes you can't beat them, cut them off. You know
man, I know it's hard because everybody wants acceptance, but at the end of the day, the best thing is finding yourself, because when you find yourself, people will draw to you. You don't have to draw to the crowd to feel cool. That's what I had to learn as an adult, you know?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you're being somebody that you're not, right? So, how long can you keep that up, and how comfortable are you going to be constantly having to shift into this other person in order to appease other people? It's exhausting. You know what I'm saying? It's unrealistic, and people are actually attracted to the version of you that's not real. You know, and we live in a society where a lot of people are like that. You know what I'm saying? They're friends with a version that they created, almost like a character, and not the real them. They go at home and they're a different person. I always tell people this. I was like, who's the person that you? What's the person that you are in the bathroom? Like that's the person I think you really are. Or what's the person that you are when you're alone in the house and nobody's there? You know, what do you actually do? That's your real you. If you can get comfortable with being that person, you know what I mean, in any space, and I'm not saying that you have to let people in on exactly who you are, because I understand that you got a code switch in different environments. But I'm saying if you're not comfortable with being your genuine self in any environment, then you're losing. You're losing that battle. You know what I mean? So, you know, figure out who that person is that you're comfortable with when nobody's around, and try to be that person wherever you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you
100%.
afraid to be 100% who you are? You know what I'm saying? Why do you think that other people should hold that much power over you, where they're able to control the type of person or the delivery of who you are? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I gotta put on and act like I'm this. I gotta act rich when I'm broke. I gotta act, hard when I'm not. I gotta no, you don't. You don't have to be none of that. Just be yourself.
100%.
And I understand the environments and stuff like that, especially when you grow up in like tough environments where you feel like you gotta put on. You don't. Like for me, I'm not a tough guy, but I'm a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't walk
Absolutely.
around here trying to be hard and stuff like that. But if the situation came to it, I'm battle tested.
That's
That
it.
means I've been through things and I can handle my own if I need to. But I'm not walking around here trying to be that. Like I ain't trying to put
It's
that
that
on.
simple.
Like, I'm a humorous person. I'm an intelligent person. I choose to go, you know what I'm saying, read a book instead of, go to the club from time to time. I'm not trying to get into this a discrepancy. I'll try to talk it out before we have to ever get to any kind of physical violence or anything like that. I'm like, hey, you got it, bro. You know what I mean? Obviously, you win.
And this is called maturity. It's like, it's simple. So it's called emotional intelligence. And then, yes, it's a journey. But at the end of the day, look at all the consequences that can come from it if you just make the decisions based off of logic and looking from a other person's standpoint instead of making all your decisions based off of solely how you feel at that moment of time. Because that's basically all he's saying is control your emotions, because everybody is not out to attack you. We don't understand you. You don't understand me. So that's why it's important to be able to be an active listener and to be able to communicate effectively.
On that topic, I was just talking to my sister about this, which is crazy, about emotional intelligence. And I think this is something that we don't talk about when we talk about emotional intelligence, and this is mad important. You know what I mean? Part of emotional intelligence is being able to have the words to describe what you're feeling, and a lot of people don't, right? A lot of people stick with the basics, right? We have mad, we have sad, we have angry, we have happy, right? But sometimes an emotion may not be particularly that. You may not necessarily be sad. You may feel vulnerable. You may not necessarily feel angry. You might feel slighted. You might feel betrayed. And emotional intelligence is being able to also put a word or a description to what you're feeling outside of just the basics. And a lot of people talk about emotional intelligence, but they don't understand their own emotions because they're not able to put a word to it. You know what I mean? And I think that that's something I struggled with when I was younger. I didn't have the words to describe what I was feeling. So it was always, I'm pissed off, I'm angry, I'm sad, or I'm this, and that's it. That's all I knew how to say. I didn't know how to say I feel disengaged. That's an emotion. That's a feeling. I feel completely detached. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I might be, I'm enamored. You know what I'm saying?
So
I'm ecstatic. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying?
So
I
you
feel
hear all
ill
these?
will. I feel sick. It's so many different things. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you hear all these words, this is what you need to do. You need anything that you read and you don't know a word to, write it down, find the definition, and make a sentence out of
I
it.
think we're missing a lot of commentary. What they're saying.
Oh man, that's being mature. We too old. My brother Kenshi, hey, go follow him, man. He the coolest dude I met. Also, Kenshi Exodus Capricorn. Hey, I love this girl, man. I love her support. I heard about people like that. I feel like those are childish behaviors and they just don't let go of. That's when you grow up not having someone to check you, or life ain't checking you hard enough. Yep, facts, my motherfucking brother. You're gonna have to come in and we're gonna have to chop it up too, because you already know.
Yeah, life gonna check you. That's real. Life gonna give you a gut check, at times. You can tell when people have been through stuff.
That's it.
The conversation is a lot different.
That's
You know
it.
what I mean? And some people stay in that, and some people they grow out of it. You know what
Literally.
I mean? Some people stay in that. Some life hits them, and they're like, "Ah, man," they become a victim, and they stay in that. Other people, when life give them that chin check or that gut check, they eat it and they move forward. They're like, you know what? How can I improve? And that, like you said, that goes with that emotional intelligence, that self awareness, and also, like you said, if you have people around you to be able to really check you, so you can handle that. So you can like, yeah, I've dealt with people coming at me and being able to say that and take that and be able to, ingest that and make myself better. But if you've never dealt with that and you walked around like your shit don't stink, or say you the best thing smoking, and somebody be like, yo, you're not. That's gonna crush your world because you've been living in a delusion for a long time.
And and the whole reality, you're not though. You know your weaknesses. That's why I see through people at the end of the day. It's like when you come at me with arrogant stuff, I'll be like, oh, you want to base it off society? Well, if we base it off society, I'm top tier. I don't base nothing off of society standard because it's always been contradictory. I base mine off of spiritual, right? So with that being said, you're going to have to be humble in order to grow. And when I say that, you're going to have to water your plant, meaning change those little delusional mindset vibes you have, because it's good to be able to boost yourself up, but when you become delusional and don't see no results from it, that's when you start lying to yourself. And when you start lying to yourself, people can't believe you because you're not credible, because the results not matching the words. So
what's crazy, man? I think that the biggest lesson that I had, and so crazy, I remember I got into debate, and somebody, they got super like angry at me because I said this to them. I said, we're all just arguing perceptions. And they were like, so you're telling me that there are no facts? I said, not really. I said, it's nothing but strong perceptions. Whoever has the best argument, essentially is the person who wins. If I can defend my viewpoint better than you, then I'm right at that point. That's it. We're arguing perceptions. My definition of reality is based off of my experiences.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like understanding that it's something that helped me to not get upset when I talk to people and to kind of try to, I want to understand. And it says in the Bible, it said, lean not onto thy own understandings, right? So that's true. So I think I know things, right? And me thinking that I know things will inevitably make me not know anything, because we're just arguing perception. So I have to go into an environment willing to listen, to learn, and to understand, because everyone's perceptions are different, and we're arguing perceptions. You know what I mean? We used to think that the atom was the smallest unit of measurement. Then we found out it was quarks and biaps. They
Wow.
used to think that the earth was flat and it was round. They used to think that the earth was the center of the solar system. Then they found out that it's actually the sun. All of these different things that's changed that we believe to be true. It's just a matter of perception. We're arguing perceptions, bro, and people get mad and they get attached to it and they're like, oh no, I'm telling you, this is right. You know what I mean? They was like, well, what about like the law of gravity? I said, well, it's proven to be something that's true up until the point that somebody proves something else. I said, there's also other things that contradict that same thing. You know what I'm saying? They may not be popular, but it's contradictory to what we believe.
And my thing is, if you believe whatever you believe, what a conversation does should never affect your way of living because you believe what you believe, right? So that's why I've never been a debatable type. I'd be open-minded to hear what somebody has to say, but I ain't never been the type to be like, oh, if you say this wrong, this is like enough. Because well, I did used to be that type when I was young. I'm like, I'm still trying to find myself. Your logic don't make sense with my logic. But then as I continue to walk my spiritual path, he said, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. What it is I live what I live, and then I see the results of it. And then if I have a conversation with somebody, so be it. But I'm not trying to make this person believe anything. If you want to know how I get it, I'm gonna get a glory to God, and I'm gonna say I did the work to do it, but he did the miracle. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's nothing else for me to talk about as far as you should do this. He got a different purpose for all of us, right? So I don't know where you at in your journey. So for me to say that this is like this and this is like this is why you're at, no, I have no clue why you at where you at. I'm still trying to figure out my journey. Exactly. So at the end of the day, ain't nobody right. We trying to figure out, but what makes sense based off of results? Because I believe consistency plus experience plus a faith is going to make logical sense.
And that, you know, it's funny. That was the argument that I had with them too when I was talking about gravity. And I was like, "Are you a Christian?" I was like, "Yes." I said, "So you believe in God?" "Yes." "You believe in Jesus, right? And you believe in gravity, right? Did Jesus walk on water?" "Well, yeah." "Okay, so then there you go. So is it true, based off of what you said and your belief? Is it true that what goes up must come down? Because technically, if he went on water, he's supposed to sink based off of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
But you said he walked on it. So then there are some things that can defy what you believe to be a universal law, right?
Absolutely.
Based off of what you believe."
Absolutely.
Yeah, they got mad.
Yeah, so it's like what I learned about. So this is why I don't go to church. Oh, I love this shit. I know I'm supposed to be finished with his head. Don't judge me. He knows. He knows how we do it, though. Hey, but look, this is one reason why I don't go to church, because having a relationship with Christ to me is a personal thing, though. It's like it's nothing I can learn on one Sunday. I'm gonna forget it soon. If I don't meditate on that thing day and night, I'm forgetting it. I'm gonna just keep it 100 because life circumstances distracts me a lot, and I got ADHD. So at the end of the day, I feel like so at the end of the day, I feel like you just need to meditate on that word, have a personal relationship, and then make your decisions based off of your it's not about no other human being. Everybody come from, we're in America. Everybody has a different religion, different standpoint, different belief. My mom is a pro-black woman, meaning don't say nothing outside of blackness. And it's like she's super light skinned. So at the end of the day, it's like I get the generational thing, but because I'm spiritual, I have a different point of view of her. I'm at peace with my point of view. I hope she's at peace with hers, but it's better I get an understanding of where she comes from by being open-minded. I'm not changing my perspective. Usually what I'm saying. So yeah,
that's what works for you, and that's what keeps you going every day, man. Hey, more power to you.
That's
man. As long as you're not harming, I live by simple rules. Don't harm myself, don't harm others, and don't harm the world. As long as I'm doing that, I'm cool.
That's freaking insane. And so he say that, and I live by, I love myself, meaning I respect, and I try to discipline myself, not to destroy myself. Then I love my neighbors, meaning I try to make them feel how I want to be felt, and then everything else falls in place. That's crazy. It's pretty much the same thing, different perspective. That's how God works. It's different perspective because he made all of us unique. So don't ever feel like, oh, because I'm not like this person, I'm less than. No, you got a different gift. You just need to hone in your gift and then utilize that thing so the world can see it, so you can
If you study
shine.
sociology, there's more relatability than there is differences. You're not as unique as you think you are. You know, most people are very alike. You know what I mean? We all are basically trying to discover answers to the same questions. You know, how do we survive? How do we eat? How do we live? How do we socialize? We're all trying to answer those questions, and we have different mechanisms of answering it, but we all are trying to answer the same question. We need food, we need shelter, we need security. They call it Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? We
Mhm.
need to socialize, we need to self-actualize, we need to go through all of these things, right? And all of us are trying to figure out how to do that. So we're not much different because we're having this human experience and that's shared. And a lot of times what happens is what creates this issue is that we isolate ourselves based off of our individuality. We're like, oh, we're different, we're unique, you don't think like me. When in actuality we do. We're answering things in a different meaning, just like me and you. We said the same thing with different words.
Mhm.
And we may, and if we were very like limited thinkers, we'd be like, nah, this is what I'm, you know what I mean? We'll be arguing, saying the same exact thing in different words instead of being able to see, actually, we just said the same thing.
Literally.
Our approach to things.
And our actions shows it. It proves it's like we see it a different way, but how we conduct ourselves shows that we're aligned with that same principle.
That's why they say you can see the spirit in other people.
That's
Like
it.
what you were saying, from a spiritual aspect, I can see your spirit.
Literally.
Your words may not be the same as mine, but I can read that spirit and know who you are.
Come on
And I
now.
can be like, that's why they say real, recognize, real. However way you want to put it, everybody says the same thing in
They
different
gotta
languages.
see you. I'm
You know what I'm
sorry.
saying? That's what they say. See that spirit, touch that spirit is the same way as saying real, recognize, real. I see, and I can see the spirit in you. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to, whatever terminology you want to use to be able to describe the same concept, it's no different. You're able to recognize the real in somebody else or the things that relate to you. Because, like I said, we're not that unique. We're very much similar. We're all seeking the same thing, right? The one thing that we all can't beat, we can win every game in life, but you can't beat death, right? So we're all gonna have a date at some point. So we're all living to die at some point. But the question is, how you gonna live your life and how you gonna answer those questions with complexity while you live it? And you find that, you know what I'm saying, we're all trying to answer those same questions.
Absolutely.
So we're very much the same.
We are. And what I think the crazy part is, we so much the same that we so embarrassed by it. That's why we don't never build rapports for each other, because we're still healing from our past traumas. We thinking, oh, they didn't go through what I went through, so they not gonna understand me. They gonna judge. And what I do, this is the barbershop is my therapy, because when I talk to my clients, this is where I find out, oh, I'm not the only one going through it. So it starts by you figure out that y'all similar by talking about your adversities, not your highlights. Can't get an amen. Woo! All right.
That's why you gotta have these conversations, because you start to
Literally.
realize that we all really do think alike. We're from total different ends of the world, total different spectrum, total different time. You know what I'm saying? And you like, damn, that's still the same. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say the game don't change, just the players in it.
Literally.
It's really the same.
And that's why it's important to have a accountability partner and a support system. My brother, how you feeling today? How you feeling, man? Just doing my thing. But that's why it's important to have an accountability partner and a support system, because if you think, oh, all my decisions is based off me, it's going to affect other people. So if you want to be a part of that other people, you need to let somebody hold you accountable.
That's right. Well, I feel like we gave the people enough.
Absolutely. Oh man, hey, yeah, the phone about to dial. I appreciate y'all support. I will be back at y'all later on. Please press subscribe. Go follow my man at, what is it? Involution.
Evolution LLC.
All right, man. I'll see you guys in a minute. Love y'all. I'm out.